Hello and welcome. This is going to be the first attempt, well, hopefully the first go around we do of the Scrappy Do roleplay for Scarlet Hollow. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud. I've been thinking more about Scrappy Do than over the past month than I think I ever have in my entire life. And I guess that's going to culminate into our first sort of swing at role-playing as Scrappy Do today. So without any further ado, let's get started. So we're finally going to attempt hardcore mode. I have nearly 80 hours in this game invested already, so the fact that I'm breaking into hardcore mode now is perhaps a testament to the replay value of this entire game, but I guess I stray from my main point. Every trade in Scarlet Hollow provides an opportunity to avoid making a game-defining sacrifice. Hardcore mode removes these opportunities, but you'll be able to select a third trade. Even with your new abilities, this is the darkest world state. By clicking continue, you agree to suffer. Your name is Scrappy Do. You live in the city of Coolsville. I really love the sort of creepier ambient sound effects for this particular run-through. Alright, is Scrappy Do non-binary? Okay, hold on, I gotta Google something real fast. Okay, well what the fuck was even the point of writing this article then? Okay, well as tempting as it would be to make Scrappy Do non-binary, I feel like for ease of consistent identity, it might be best if we rocked with he/him pronouns. I do really love that Scarlet Hollow sort of respects your pronouns if you prefer to use like non-binary identity, though. It's pretty neat. Alright, so 3 traits. So I have consulted the finest sources: Wikipedia, TV Trotes, Scrappy Do roleplay blogs on Tumblr, and I think I figured out an adequate cross-section for how we're going to handle this series. I picked out 3 traits of Scrappy based on what I understood about him through canon and various other sources through my research. Sorry. So we're gonna go with powerful build because he's got that puppy power. We're gonna do talk to animals as well because he's a dog. And it was a bit of a toss-up between like street smart and keen eye. Scrappy's capable of solving puzzles and riddles, but he isn't the sharpest crayon in the box either. I figured he's been known to be a bit of a combat pragmatist, so maybe if we combine street smart with powerful build, it might help with that a little bit. I don't know. So before we begin, I also wanted to reach out with a couple of other sort of, not traits as such, but kind of pillars through which we're going to be building Scrappy's character, just to ensure that he remains kind of consistent throughout this main playthrough. We can add sort of some more as it goes on. Maybe I'll think of some more, and hey, if you guys want to pitch some of your own, feel free. Yeah. So the pillars that I have selected for Scrappy are one called Let Me At Him. Scrappy is a dyed-in-the-wool pugilist, and he'll always default to violence in situations where he's given the right to do so. Meddling Kid. Scrappy is incredibly inquisitive and will always push in situations where he deals with people to ask questions or get answers. He's enthusiastic and energetic, but he can be prone to episodes of hyperactivity and insensitiveness. Singleton. Scrappy has no family present in his life, which is true in canon. Scooby is the only one that gives him the time of day. His own mother can't stand him. So for our purposes, we'll transfer the love of his uncle to his cousin, Tabitha. Scrappy idolizes Tabitha and will go above and beyond to defend her behavior, even if it means rationalizing some of her more troubling traits. Gland disorder. Scrappy is an adult dog that has stunted growth as a result of a glandular disorder and a predilection for coffee and cigarettes. He's a bit of a man-child, but for ease of consciousness, we can romance characters as long as they have really bad standards. He's vindictive. Scrappy is averse to rejection, is capable of being extremely vindictive in situations where he feels like he's been wronged. And the last thing that I have down here is that I wanted to give him like kind of a fatal flaw. And the one I picked out is that he's incredibly arrogant. So we'll sort of see how that kind of or plays out for us. But yeah, powerful build, talks to animals, and street smart. In terms of in-game mechanics, are going to be what we go along with. So without any further ado, let's jump in. You jolt awake as the bus hits a particularly nasty bump. You feel like you only just managed to start drifting off, and now here you are, again, awake and still exhausted. For a moment, you're hazy on the details of where exactly here is, confusing this bus with the many others that came before it. But as your mind continues to reassert its existence in the waking world, the past few days come back into focus. The long-lost cousin, the bad news, the 26 hours of bus rides with countless late-night stops at CU depots that would have felt unsafe even in the middle of the day. You wouldn't normally find yourself traveling like this, but your cousin bought the tickets. The funeral of Pearl Scarlet, your cousin's mother and your aunt, seemed like something you shouldn't ignore, even considering your own late mother's rocky relationship with this side of the family. Fortunately, the end of your long journey is in sight. You're almost in Scarlet Hollow. So anyway, as I was saying, oh no, he's still here. He's been sitting next to you for the past 5 hours, talking at you without pause. You're not sure he even stopped when you started to doze off. At first you thought he was just being friendly, but that was several hours of one-sided conversation ago. I was up in Maryland looking for work, but mostly messing around because I was a dumb teen. Me and my buddies were doing our usual prank stuff, pushing joggers into the harbor, that sort of thing. So what do we got for this? Always inquisitive and will always push in situations to ask questions or get answers. I think that seems like the direct approach. Why? Oh god, I actually don't know what Scrappy Doo sounds like. I did a lot of reading research on like Scrappy Doo, but nothing in particular as to like his vocal performance or anything like that. This isn't me promising to do like a voice every time I have to speak or anything. Maybe it was just sort of something I do for a laugh, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of figure he sounds kind of like Boo Boo Bear, right? So it's a bit of a gosh, Yogi, why have you for fuck's sakes. Why are you talking to me? Kind of feels like a Big the Cat sort of thing. Well, why wouldn't I talk to you? We're on a bus. Buses are one of the best places to meet new people, hands down. And you're the only person left to meet. So this girl comes up to us, swinging her purse, yelling about how she's going to call the cops or whatever. It was hilarious. She actually hit my friend, and he said it hurt a lot. So I guess she really was mad and not just playing. But she kept swinging, and soon enough she lost her balance and fell into the harbor all on her own. We didn't even have to push her. We had a good laugh and fished her out, and her phone got soaked, so she couldn't call the cops on us. We wound up hanging out all day. She kind of became my girlfriend after that, and we've been on and off for about a year, so it's pretty serious. Although, about 5 months ago, she tried to break up with me, like, for real. And jeez, you ever get so mad you just want to, like, kill somebody? Why are you telling me this? I've never felt that way about another person, and I find it alarming that you have. That seems like a bit more of a boo-boo sort of thing. I do hope Scrappy sounds like that. You're young. You'll get it when someone tries to break your heart one day. It changes a person. Makes them think things they never thought they could. I honestly could have killed that woman. Anyway, she's giving birth to our son right now, so I'm trying to get up to Virginia to be there for it. But I don't know if I'm, like, into that stuff, so I might just wind up on a bus in New York or something instead. I've always wanted to go there. Your girlfriend is giving birth right now, and you're thinking about ditching her to go have fun in New York? After she tried to break up with you and you threatened to kill her? Hey now, I never threatened to kill her. Okay, maybe over text, just a little. But fatherhood is scary. Plus her mom is there, so it's not like she's alone. Her mom doesn't like me much, so I probably just made things super stressful. She'll understand, she's chill. Anyway, where'd you say you were headed? Scarlet Hollow. Oh, the holler, eh? That's what they call the hollows up in the mountains, you know. I had a couple of buddies who went there for work in the mines. There's a coal mine up at the hollow, you see, and there's always a job listing or two on the boards around there. I never want to do that kind of thing myself. I like my lungs the way they are, thanks, but my buddies got desperate enough to try it. I haven't heard from them in a while now that I think about it. I should see if they're on Facebook, see how they're doing up there. I hope they didn't die. He looks back on his phone, for once focused on something other than you. Oh, this is me. It was lovely meeting you. I hope you don't get too bored without me around to talk to. Here, I have something for you. The stranger rifles through his backpack before presenting me with a dripping bag of peanuts. They're boiled peanuts. I got them at a gas station a few buses back. I noticed you haven't eaten much, so I figured you could use them more than me. Plus, they dripped over all of my bag, so I don't want to carry them anymore. Tip. Sometimes picking a dialogue option establishes new facts about who you are. He You take the boiled peanuts. Nice, I love boiled peanuts. I'm glad they're going to a good home. And with that, I leave you. Safe travels, friend. And just like that, the stranger is gone. I feel like I'm getting dangerously used to doing this whole Scrappy Doo voice thing. Maybe you can finally get some sleep. Next up, Scarlet Hollow, end of the line. Almost there. The bus finally comes to a stop, its brakes squealing as it deposits you in front of the Scarlet Hollow bus station. The sign at least reads bus station, but calling it that feels disingenuous. At best, it's a kiosk, though for a small town like this, you're amazed at so much as a road, let alone a bus that drives on it every week. The driver quickly shuts the door behind you and starts the engine, kicking up dust clouds as he pulls away, eager to leave you and this place behind. Hey, Scrappy Doo. You instantly recognize the worn young woman from the few public photos on her Facebook page. She's your cousin Tabitha, and she looks annoyed to be here. I do love Tabitha, and I don't necessarily try to get on her good side in like my normal playthroughs, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how I can best ruin her life in this particular playthrough. I'm so sorry for your loss. Come here, cuz, bring it in. You go in for a hug. She tries to pull away, but it's too late. You squeeze tightly, your cousin squirming in your grip. Okay, enough! She pulls away from you, dusting off her clothes. Something you should know about me is that I'm not really a hugger. Sorry, I just thought you might want some comfort, considering. I don't. Now, come on, let's go. I don't want to waste any more time down here than I have to. Your cousin turns and motions to an old BMW parked near the bus kiosk. You follow her, clambering into the dusty relic. It doesn't take much driving with the only signs of civilization are the car you're in and the road you're on. Tabitha maintains an icy silence as she focuses on the road. Dialogue options labeled Explorer can usually be taken without advancing the story. They can impact relationships and unlock additional story paths though, so choose carefully. I can't believe you never actually met before this. You have your mom to thank for that. Or had, I guess. There was a part of me that kind of deliberated before doing this whether or not I wanted to try to do like a Scooby-Doo voice for Tabitha, but I feel like nobody, including me, would have a good time with that, so we're gonna play it as it lies. I'm sorry, but is there bad blood between us? All I know is my mom left and she was mad at this side of the family, but I don't know much besides that. Your cousin stares straight ahead, her expression icy. How are you holding up? Fine. You don't have to hide how you're feeling around me. We're family, even if we just met. She sighs a particularly heavy sigh. Look, I appreciate your concern, but I'm fine, really. So, the funeral. It's on Sunday, right? Yep, like I told you. I feel like Scrappy would probably be inclined to help out Tabitha with this. Do you need any help planning? If you ever need help with errands or scheduling, feel free to ask. I know this stuff isn't easy. It's actually been fine. I just needed the coffin and someone to dig a hole. Alright, we're gonna go in for the Dead Moms Club. I guess we're both members of the Dead Moms Club now, huh? Your cousin turns to stare at you, an icy hatred in her eyes. Maybe this would have worked to ease the tension if she were someone else, but she isn't. She turns back to the road, her expression cold and unforgiving. You decide to sit in silence with your cousin as the car eases up the steep mountain road. And here it is, the Scarlet Estate. Though it's seen better days, its crumbling elegance is not lost on you, someone used to cramped apartments in gray cities. Your mother told you about this place many times before she passed, always with an anger burning beneath her words. The faded majesty you once imagined doesn't quite compare with what's in front of you, a jarring blend of opulence and ruin. As you stare at it, perched on the crumbling cliffside, you can't help but feel like it's something that should have been left to rot a long, long time ago. You're hit with a blast of dusty air as you step across the threshold and into the foyer. Everything in this room has been here for much longer than you've been alive, each object cemented in places with layers of dust and cobwebs. You can hear doors creak on their hinges and the aches and moans of ancient floorboards as the house itself sways in the wind. Welcome to our family's humble estate. Unfortunately, due to the current state of the house, only a few rooms will be safely accessible during your stay. I wouldn't go wandering anywhere else if you value your limbs. The floors have been known to give out. If you know what's good for you, stick to your room, your bathroom, and the kitchen. And hallways, I guess. But only the hallways you need to use to get to those places. I'll show you around so you know where it's safe to walk. You can leave your bags here for the time being. Oh man, this place is huge. I can't wait to unwind. I love how put off Tabitha seems to be by people with powerful builds in particular. It's great. Yes, the estate is quite large, but I'd be careful about unwinding too much. You don't want to wander off somewhere you shouldn't. You might get some nasty splinters. Follow me. You put your bags down and follow Tabitha through long, dusty hallways. She delicately steps over floors, holes, and tears in the floor, and you do your best to trace her steps. Kitchen. On Wednesdays, a woman from town comes in and does the cleaning. Her name is Janie. I wouldn't recommend socializing with her. She'll talk your ear off. If you need any food, there's fixings for peanut butter and jelly. Don't touch my mac and cheese or my ice cream. Those are off limits. Oh, and you can also access the garden through here, but it's pretty wild, so I wouldn't if I were you. Tip: some explorer options prevent you from taking others. Choose carefully. It's nice. It's a kitchen. Awesome, I love PB&J. How'd you know it was one of my favorites? That smile can't be real. I also love how, Tabitha smiling is basically the first real jump scare in this game. I didn't, but good for you. I might want to eat something other than PB&J this week, though. Is there somewhere else in town we can get groceries? Well, aren't you fancy? Yeah, there's a general store. There's also a diner. I usually order my food in bulk online, though, so I wouldn't be going with you. Sweet, thanks. Cool. Good talk. Alright, what's next on the tour? Bathroom. Follow me. Great, it's been hours since I've gone. As the two of you leave the kitchen, you pass by a tuxedo cat sitting on the countertop. Don't try to pet Frou Frou. If she wants to be pet, she'll let you know. Nip. Ne me parle pas. Why do I ever bother talking to cats? How dare you insult me, you filthy American who speaks in this bastard English. I shall debase myself by speaking your tongue, but only so that I might insult you directly to your face, you uncultured swine. Stop wasting my time. Let's finish the tour. You once again follow Tabitha through a long, dusty hallway. Maybe after a few nights it'll get easier to navigate these spaces, but for the time being you feel lucky to have not fallen through the floors. Guest bathroom. Not much to show, it's a bathroom. I'll wait outside. Do what you must if you must. It is a wretched bathroom. Piles of junk sit untouched in the corners of the room, and mystery stains paint the floor. Who exactly uses this bathroom? Guests. Are you sure this toilet works? Yes. Why wouldn't it? The water bills get paid, therefore the toilet works. Now do your business so we can move on. You sigh in resignation. Okay. That's the spirit. Scram, fellas, the jig is up! Bugs skitter from the bowl as you lift the seat. A toilet is a toilet. Sure, it could be cleaner, but your business needs doing, and this is as good a place as any. You do what you must and rejoin your cousin out in the hall. Next step, guest bedroom. Last stop on the tour. Follow me. You and Tabitha briefly return to the foyer before climbing the stairs and reaching the guest room. The room smells old. Dust, mildew, wood rot, it has it all. A week of sleeping in this place might give you permanent lung damage. This is where you'll be staying. The linens are fresh. I had Janie wash them last week. I had to endure a half-hour rant about her kid to get her to do it, so you better be grateful. The closet is full of old family stuff, so you can't hang her clothes up, but you can use the dresser. It should be empty. There's a lot of boxes and stuff lying around here. I could help you move things around and fix the place up. Look, I appreciate the offer, but Janie already comes in once a week. It's fine. It seems a little... You spend a moment searching for the right word. Dusty. Huh. Well, sorry I'm not giving you the 5-star hotel treatment you so desperately seem to need. You can dust it off yourself if you care so much. I guess I'll start to get settled. Follow me. I'll take you back to the foyer so you can collect your belongings. This concludes our tour. I'm afraid I must return to my duties, so you'll have to entertain yourself for the rest of the day. Don't expect to see much of me. Tip: some dialogue options will open additional conversation paths, some right away and others down the line. I feel like Scrappy might kind of question, the sort of icy reception that we've gotten so far. Let's ask, hey, did I do something wrong? You've asked me to come to this funeral, but since the moment I got here, you've been acting like I spat in your coffee. What's going on? Was it something I said? Okay, I'm sorry I've been testy since you've gotten here. You've been an acceptable guest. I'm just under a lot of pressure right now. Please just stay out of my hair until later, okay? I have work to do. What kind of work do you do? I run the coal mine, the same as every Scarlet who came before me. Except for you and your mom. It requires a lot of time and attention, so I'd appreciate if you didn't keep me for too long. Damn, I can't believe you're only in your 20s and already running a coal mine. Talk about hashtag girl boss. Don't patronize me. I know you have nothing to your name, Scrappy. Any other inane questions before I leave? What am I supposed to do while you're gone? There's a very demanding job I should be getting back to right now that doesn't include figuring out activities for you to occupy your time with. I'm not your babysitter. Why don't you, I don't know, go for a walk around town or something until you get tired? There are historic buildings to look at. Fucking smile. I'm sure you'll have a great time. Alright, I won't keep you, but we should hang out when you get back. We'll see. There's a lot that needs to get done this week. Your cousin leaves through the front door. And now it's just you. You and this sprawling, decrepit estate. Alright, I think it's time for Scrappy Doo to do some exploring. With Tabitha gone, there's no one stopping you from going straight into the forbidden wings of the estate. Except for the locks and chains, of course, sealing them shut. An insurmountable obstacle for most, but a mild inconvenience for you. Oh yeah, we breaking in, baby. As the locks fall, the doors moan open, revealing the entrance to what must have been an incredibly lavish ballroom. Faintly in the distance, you can hear the quiet notes of an old piano playing from another room. The forbidden wings are yours to explore. Scrappy-Doo is of course going to enter. You can see why your cousin warned you against coming here. Deep gashes tear across the floors, and years of detritus have turned what once must have been a magnificent open ballroom into a tight, claustrophobic maze. The piano you heard from outside the ballroom has grown louder. Wherever it is, it's nearby. It's probably just a self-playing model, but maybe you aren't as alone here as you thought. You make your way over to the painting covering the far wall. It's a family tree. Angry black scratches cover the space where your mother should be. As far as you can tell, there are 3 exits to the ballroom. There is, of course, the door you came through, and on your far right is a door beyond a broken floor, a dead end. Across the room from where you entered is the 3rd and final exit, a glass doorway you can just barely make out behind a pile of broken furniture. You move to investigate it more closely. As you approach, the plan grows clearer. Without a doubt, the piano is behind this door. Oh shit, we can actually go behind it. The pile of furniture blocking the doorway weighs a considerable amount, and it's safe to say that most people would be unable to move it on their own. You aren't most people, though, and with a bit of muscle you clear off to the side. As you move the final piece out of your way, the playing stops, as if aware of your efforts. As you step through the door, something slips through your periphery and into the shadows. You lock eyes with it as it lingers in the doorway at the far side of the room, the two of you separated by a cavernous gash in the floor. What are you doing here? Your words hang in the air as the presence slips deeper into the estate. Well, I guess we have no choice but to leave. Pity that. Whatever it was you just encountered leaves you wondering just how much longer you should even stay in the estate on your own. Well, not before we grab us a quick snack roll. You haven't had anything to eat all day. The only things louder than your stomach right now are the creaks and moans of this ancient place. A PB&J sounds exactly like what you need to take on the rest of the day. You head to the kitchen. You're back in the kitchen, ready to craft a beautiful peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's a daunting state given the state of the place, but the aggressive growls of your stomach outweigh your fear of food poisoning. To get started, you'll probably need to find some peanut butter, some jelly, bread, a plate, and a knife. As you approach the fridge, your eyes catch a note taped to the door reading, "Janie, stay out," in all caps. Below it, in separate handwriting, are the words, "Okie dokie." You open the fridge. You already feel a deep urge to wash your hands, even though you have yet to touch anything other than the handle. You reach for one of the unopened jars of grape jelly, carefully checking its expiration date. You breathe a sigh of relief when you realize it's recent. This is either purchased specifically for you, or jelly is one of the few things in the kitchen Tabitha actually uses. All you need now is a plate, a bread, knife, and some peanut butter. Better close this fridge and keep looking. Alright, I'll buy it. Let's check out the mayonnaise. You know you probably shouldn't, but a part of you has to know how old that mayonnaise is. You pick up the jar, its label flaking in your hand. It expired 10 years ago. This jar of mayonnaise is old enough to graduate the 5th grade. Best to put it back and forget you ever saw it. That will be nice. You return to the kitchen, closing the fridge behind you. This cabinet must be where Tabitha keeps the dishware, and oddly enough, the utensils. You grab a plate and a butter knife. All you need now is peanut butter and some bread. We'll poke around, though. It reads, I was blown away at Blowing Rock NC. So your aunt and cousin actually traveled sometimes, even if it was only a few hours from the estate. Maybe you can route your return trip through Blowing Rock. It might be nice to see the local sights before heading home. You reach for the bowl, but as you pull it down, a blend of vinegar and dead moths splashes onto you, immediately staining your shirt. On the back of the bowl is a note that reads, Moth trap, do not touch. Whoops. Ha! Idiot. Your shirt is now unpleasantly wet. You'll probably change into something clean before you leave the house. Alright, well, I don't want to take any chances on the shot glass now. We're going to close up. You close the cabinet and look back to the rest of the kitchen. I feel like Scrappy would probably have a bit of a unique hang-up around cats in particular, so we're not going to continue talking to Frou Frou. But we are going to go in the pantry. Tabitha sure loves her mac and cheese. You pick up one of the non-moldy loaves of bread. Great, one step closer to a satisfying snack. All you need now is some peanut butter. The king of nut butters, and only 3% of each jar is mashed up cockroaches. This is the last ingredient you need to make your PB&J. Time to get to work. You close the pantry door as best you can and turn back to the rest of the kitchen. Despite the state of this horrendous kitchen, you've successfully combined your 3 ingredients to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Congratulations, protein awaits. A job well done. All that hassle only took you less than a minute to eat. The rest of the day lies in front of you. Let's check out the garden. This garden was reclaimed by the wilderness long ago. It might not be very safe, but who's to stop you from venturing deeper? You wander further into the garden. It's quiet out here. I guess we're heading back. You head back inside and close the door behind you. I think we're about done here. Congratulations. You've eaten and have a full day ahead of you. What do you want to do next? Now that you've finally eaten, the aches and pains of your journey have started to sink deep into your bones. You stumble up the stairs to your room, suitcase in tow, eager to unwind before you face the rest of the day. You stand at the entrance to your room. You drag your suitcase over the dresser and open the bottom drawer. An opossum lurks within. It is quiet but angry. Afraid! Oh, we can ask him about the piano. Interesting. There was a piano playing in the sealed-off part of the estate. Do you know who or what was playing it? The opossum shivers. Bad place. Not safe. Dustin, no visit. What are you doing in my drawers? Warm. Dark. You poor thing. You look cold in there. You gently lay your clothes on top of the creature, arranging them in a little nest. Dustin closes his mouth, somewhat more at ease than before, and looks up at you with his shiny black eyes. The human is kind to Dustin. Dustin will remember this. You close the drawer, satisfied with yourself for a job well done. This must be an older relative of yours, judging by the dates in the inscription. You've never heard of her, but you've barely heard anything about your aunt and cousin until a week ago, so that's not really a surprise. Maybe you could ask Tabitha about this Maribel Scarlet next time you see her. That is, if she's actually in the mood for conversation. You can only imagine how beautiful the garden must have been back in its heyday. If you owned this place, you'd totally get out there with a shovel and some gardening gloves and whip it in shape. You'd go out and pull weeds, chop trees, carve topiaries, and do whatever you need to do to return it to its former glory. And once it was all done, you'd sit by the fountain, which of course would have a little goldfish in it, and drink of floral tea while enjoying the bird song. Yeah, you'd definitely do that, just not right now. You can see why your cousin said you should put your clothes in the dresser inside this closet. There must be decades of family history stacked up in there. Of course you're sharing a room with the creepy doll. You pick it up to examine it more closely. Its foot reads, "Property of Alexandra." No need to carry this around with you. You close the closet behind you. Scrappy would never nap. It doesn't look like there's much else for you to do here right now. May as well head into town. Now that you're settled in, there's not much left for you to do here other than head out and explore the town. You do just that. Before leaving the house, you rinse off and change into a clean shirt. You're not about to meet new people covered in vinegar and dead moths. Do a little number, say with all my mind. If you'd known you'd wind up having to walk all the way back to town, you probably would have just asked Tabitha to leave you at the bus stop, especially with how unhappy she seemed to see you. If only you could wipe the slate clean between the two of you, and bury some of the tension. Though, maybe her mother's funeral isn't the best time for something like that. And then again, maybe it's the perfect time. It's really pretty out here. Finally, you made it back to town. The holler, as that guy on the bus called it, has probably seen better days. It still has the feeling of an idyllic country town, but its sidewalks are cracked, and many of the storefronts are boarded up, their windows dusty with age. A chill breeze sweeps down the lane, and you shudder, suddenly feeling as if you're peering into a grave. "Gretchen, come back! Quick bothering strangers!" Why, I do declare, who is this stranger? And why does he smell of peanut butter? Sorry about that. Gretchen can be very slippery when she wants to be. She loves to get loose and cause havoc. It's nice to meet you, Gretchen. I'm Scrappy, too. My, oh my, I can't remember the last time I met a newcomer who was so wonderfully polite. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Scrappy, too. And that's a funny way to introduce yourself. I'm Stella. It's not often I see a strange face up in the holler. Every now and then there's a new crop of coal folks, but you don't look dusty enough for that. You aren't in town for the funeral, are you? The Scarlet funeral? I feel like Scrappy is like evasive enough that like he'll probably just say yes. Yep, I just got into town today. Wow, I didn't think there would be anyone else coming. Are you staying with Tabby? How's she holding up? Upon mention of your cousin, Gretchen mutters under her breath. One of these days I'll get that Tabitha to pet me. I haven't seen her since Perlan passed, or for a while before that, now that I think about it. I'm sorry, did I hear you right? I can't imagine Tabitha ever going by something so bubbly. As she did back when I knew her better. It's been a while. I hope she's okay. I'm worried about her too. She's always been a little rough around the edges, but I figure she's probably been having a rough go with things. She and her mom are really close. I think she's been up in that old mansion all by herself. It'll probably be good for her now that you're staying here, even if she doesn't think so herself. How long have you known her? Oh, quite a long time. The town's really small, so everyone's known everyone else as far back as they can remember. Tabby and I got a little close when we were both in the school's production of Midsummer Night's Dream. I was Puck and she was Mustard Seed. As you might have expected, she was more than a little prickly, but I managed to soften her up a bit in the end. But then she graduated. That was that. I haven't seen that girl or a horrible little cat since I was middle-aged. Oh, before it slips my mind, if you're staying up in that spooky old mansion, you must have met the Frou-Frou. How does that monster fare? It sounds like you and Frou-Frou have a history. Wait, what? Are you messing with me? You can't actually talk to my dog, right? Oh, we can be duplicitous. Interesting. I wonder if Scrappy would lie to Tabitha, or sorry, would lie about this whole situation. Inquisitive and always push situations. I kind of want to lie to Stella just because I feel like it would be funny. So we're gonna do that. I'm joking. If I could actually talk to animals, do you think I'd just casually do it in front of other people? I'd be way more discreet than that. Couldn't have people knowing my secret. Yeah, of course. That would be ridiculous. You and Stella maintain silent, awkward eye contact. Well, next time you see that devil, please send my regards, and do let her know that not only do I still draw breath, but that I very much plan to outlive her. Oh, if you just got to town, you must be starving. I was just on my way to the diner for a coffee, and they got amazing biscuits. My treat. Hell yeah, let's go. The pleasant aroma of greasy breakfast foods hangs heavy in the air. In contrast with the empty, lifeless atmosphere of the family estate, the diner is filled with the comforting din of human life. All of which grinds to a sudden halt as the patrons realize that a stranger has entered the establishment. Hey everyone, I'm Scrappy Doo, just got in town for the funeral. The Scarlet funeral. The Pearland Scarlet funeral. It looks like your entrance was a little more dramatic than you were expecting, huh? Folks around here don't meet many strangers as is, and with who you're related to, let's just say you'll be the talk of the town for a while. Hey Stella, I went ahead and fixed you up a coffee. They gracefully place a cup of specially brewed coffee in front of Stella. Ah, shucks, thanks Avery. And here's some bacon for the little lady. For me? For me? Gretchen sniffs the bacon and digs in. You can hit the H button on your keyboard to hide the text box at any time. Yeah, baby. Now we're playing with power. Anything for you? Well, Scrappy does love coffee. Let's do it. Just a coffee, thanks. No problem. Avery pours the fragrant brew into the empty mug in front of you. They linger after pouring your coffee, turning to you nervously. Oh, and I'm sorry for your loss. Before you have the chance to respond, they're gone. You should have gone for the biscuit. They're really good. But I guess you got all week. Maybe you'll get one tomorrow. Anyway, the funeral's not until Sunday, right? That gives you quite a bit of time to slum around town. I'm trying to think if there are any cool events going on this week. There's always the reading adventure at the library, which is supposed to be for little kids, but I do it every month anyway. Oh, and I'm pretty sure Avery's throwing a party Saturday night, so that's a fun thing to look forward to. And there's the weekly Sunday potluck. That should be right after the funeral, too, so it'll be a special occasion. Sounds neat. Maybe I'll check some of these things out. Anyway, those are all the big events I can think of. I'm just sticking with this weird voice, I guess, for Scrappy. Maybe I might change it up in the next episode, who knows. As for this day-to-day, any idea of how you want to kill time for the rest of the week? I'd love to hit some good hiking trails after being cooped up on a bus for so long. These legs gotta move. That sounds an awful lot like going on a walk to me. Oh? My job actually has me running around the woods pretty often, so if you ever need a guide. Before Stella can finish, Avery returns, biscuit in tow. Is there nothing else coming for me? Gosh, if I had known that plate of bacon would be my main and only course, I would have waited before digging in. Hey, Winnie wanted me to give you a biscuit. On the house. She sends her condolences. Scrappy would not bother with thanking Avery. We chowing down. You pick up the biscuit. It's delicate and fluffy. It nearly crumbles at your touch. Buttery warmth emanates from its surface. You take a bite. It melts in your mouth as if it was nothing but butter suspended in a thin matrix of dough. Truly, this is a perfect biscuit. Whoa, this is a really good biscuit. Wow. I'm so glad you like it. Avery lingers at the table for a moment. So, has Stella mentioned she's famous? Oh, Avery, I'm not famous. Look, if you're not going to go around tooting your own horn, you know I'm going to do it for you. Stella sighs. I'm a YouTuber. You don't say. Cool, what kind of videos do you do? She hunts cryptids. You should really check out her channel, Scrappy. It's amazing. I think the best video to start with would be the river one. Not the lake, but, you know, the controversial one. Oh yeah, the Catawba River Runner. I didn't expect much out of that footage at the time, but it wound up being my most popular video by far. So, the River Runner is a cryptid that's only known from a single sighting. 2 Boy Scouts thought they saw something big and weird in the Catawba River. And that's all I had to go on. But then I wound up catching this on camera. Stella pulls out her phone and shows you a clip of something in a river. Some folks said it was a beaver, but if that's the case, it'd be at least twice the size of any beaver I've ever seen. I also had people saying it was a dog, or even a capybara that must have escaped from a local wildlife sanctuary. It was a mountain lion. I could smell its stink from miles away. I'm still not sure what it was, and I'm the one who saw the thing with my own 2 eyes. Whatever it is, I bet I could take it. Damn, you think so? Some of the folks in the comments thought it was a mountain lion. Yeah, I bet he could take on a mountain lion. Those things are barely bigger than house cats, but that's besides the point, because it's not a mountain lion. I did a whole video on the Appalachian mountain lion myth, and found Jack squat, and there's no reason one to be swimming in a river like this. They're not fans of water, and it's too short to be a mountain lion. No way. Personally, I'm a fan of the capybara theory. Sure, it's not like any local sanctuaries are missing one, but there's always people keeping exotic animals as pets. Kind of a sewer gator type situation. Exactly. Some exotic pet owner sets it free, and now it will forever roam the Catawba, confusing Boy Scouts and YouTube commentators for years to come. So, speaking of things to do around town, I was actually planning on filming this week's video tonight. I was wondering if maybe you'd want to come along? It's a pretty easy one this week. We wouldn't even have to camp anywhere. I'm gonna go after the... Wait! No spoilers. Sorry, Avery. It's okay. I should probably get back to it instead of standing around chatting with friends. I'll see y'all around. Now that the coast is clear, I'm going after Skunk Ape. What's a skunk ape? It's like Bigfoot, but smellier. Most skunk ape sightings are from Florida, but while I was doing research for last week's video, I came upon a report where a lady from town over claimed to have seen one on her deck, playing tug of war with her dog. And as I leave no stone unturned, I decided it was worth investigating. So what do you say? Want to tag along? Hold the camera for me while I narrate against the darkening sky, and that sort of thing? Heck yeah, I was hoping you'd ask since the moment I heard cryptids. I live for the thrill. I begged you for a good adventuring buddy the second I saw you. I'm glad to see I made the right call. This is going to be a lot of fun. I actually started the channel with a couple buddies of mine back in middle school, so it'd be kind of like a blast from the past. Me and Kanika and Reese running around the woods, flipping over rocks and bothering salamanders. Our videos were terrible, but we had a lot of fun, and that's all that mattered to us. You know, that gets me thinking. I wonder if they'd be down to come along with us, get the old gang back together. Though, I guess Kanika has to close out the general store tonight, so I'm pretty sure she's a no-go. But Reese, I think there's a decent chance we can get him to come out of his hidey hole if he's up for it. Do you mind if I make a quick call? Stella pulls out her phone and dials it, waiting while it rings. Reese, dude, what's up? It feels like it's been forever. Ah, man, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you want me to come by, or... Okay, if you're really sure, but if you change your mind... Oh, I was just calling to ask if you wanted to come out to the woods tonight. I met someone cool in town today. He's Tabitha's cousin. I know, yeah, he's just here for the week. Anyway, we're just going to go looking for Skunk Ape. We could take the easier trails if that would help. Dang, man, that sounds awful. I hope you take it easy tonight. I'll swing by sometime this week and we can have a more low-key hang. How's that? Yeah, I'll bring him. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, bud. Reese. There's always been something off about that boy. I never did like the smell of him. Looks like it's just you and me, pal. Did he ask you to bring me to his house? Why? He's excited to meet you, of course. I think you'll find most folks in town are. Are you okay? Me? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm more worried about Reese. He's had a lot going on in the past, gosh, 10 years or so? But it feels like it's gotten a lot worse recently. I can't remember the last time I saw him leave his house. Well, it's not really my place to talk about, really. I just got a little excited thinking about having him along again. He's hilarious. You'd love him. We should swing by his place sometime this week. That'd be nice. I'd love to meet your friends. Awesome. I'll make it happen. He's definitely the trickier one to meet. Kanika is much easier to track down, so she's at the general store basically every day. But friendship can wait. We got a skunk ape to hunt. So we should probably head out if we want to make it up the mountain before it's too dark. Come on, let's blow this popsicle stand. You pause before getting up. Maybe it's time to make a good first impression. But Scrappy would be like a decent tipper. You reach into your pockets and pull out a single crumpled dollar bill and a quarter. As long as you don't get sick of peanut butter and jelly, your meals will be free while you're here. Share the wealth while you got it, you think to yourself. You leave the money on the table and follow Stella out of the diner. It hadn't been very cold when you first arrived in town, but as the sun dips closer and closer to the horizon, a chill descends upon the hollow, and you see your situation with renewed clarity. You're in a new place, far from civilization and the people you know, following someone you just met into a dark forest in search of monsters. You feel alive. The fall breeze passing through the leaves, the orange hues of the setting sun painting the horizon, Tabitha's house looking like Mount Crumpet, overlooking the town, the promise of excitement ahead. It's been a while since you felt this in the moment, this present. The world around you feels almost magical. Were a mythical creature to actually manifest in front of you, it would fit perfectly in this world. Gotta love this brisk fall weather. This past summer was the hottest on record, since last year, at least. You know how it is these days. Each summer is the hottest yet until the next summer, which always finds a way to be so much worse. It's just nice to feel a chill in the air and see the leaves change, like normalcy is restored. If only for a moment. Sorry if that was a bit of a bummer. We should talk about something more fun, like skunk apes. Do you ever hunt things that aren't cryptids? Like ghosts, demons, werewolves, that sort of thing? Yeah, for sure. I used to go after all sorts of spooky stuff. I never had much luck though, especially when it came to ghosts. Back when I first started doing solo videos, I'd go into all sorts of old abandoned buildings, hoping I'd stumble upon some sort of activity. But nothing ever happened. It was always just me and my camera in an old house, getting worked up over a gust of wind or a creaky floorboard. When all's said and done, I've just been a lot luckier with cryptids. I want to believe in ghosts so bad, and I can't rule out the possibility that there really are true hauntings out there. But if there are, I sure as heck haven't seen any myself. Werewolves I kind of lump in with cryptids. I'd be shocked if there actually were people out there that turned into animals, but werewolf lore lines up pretty well with the great beast genre of cryptid. As for demons, I don't know. I honestly don't want to consider the possibility that they exist, because if they really are out there, a lot of folks are doomed to an eternity of flames. So let's hope all that's just bunk, am I right? What do you think about aliens? Don't even get me started. Did you see those UFO videos the government declassified? Aliens are definitely real. They absolutely have visited Earth. Like, I believe in aliens way more than I believe in cryptids. I adore my darling Stella, but she gets the strangest ideas in her head these days. Ever since her parents went away, she's been more and more foolhardy with all this critter nonsense. You don't see me hunting aliens out there because we know they're real. Heck yes, aliens are real. Nice. I knew we had a connection. I know somebody who knows somebody who's heard a story from this trucker in Fayetteville. His truck stopped in the middle of the road, just shut down completely, even though he had a full tank of gas, and suddenly it looked like daylight outside. He could see cows out in the field, birds in the sky. Then this metallic, like, egg thing appeared, floating in front of his truck. He passed out, and when he woke up, he was missing one of his pinkies. It was like it had never been there. It was just smooth skin where a pinky should be. I know it's a secondhand source, but there's plenty more like it, if they are true. Makes sense to me. For sure. And even if this one's hogwash, there's a lot of evidence out there. What's the weirdest thing you've seen out here? Other than anything cryptid related, of course. Oh gosh, that's a good one. Let me think. There's always the deer I've seen stealing baby birds out of a nest and eating them. That was pretty messed up. But I think most people know about that these days. I've seen tons of other videos of deer doing it, so I'm not sure it really counts as weird anymore. Oh, Tetanus Lake. That's definitely the weirdest. It's a 5-foot deep, 30-foot wide pile of old cans and bottles and assorted garbage with grass and trees growing on it, so you could barely tell what was there until you stepped on it. It was practically solid ground with how much it had been compressed, but you could still fall through if you weren't careful. Hence the name. I better be up in shots if you want to mess around in there. It's all stuff from the 50s too, which is super neat. I salvaged a few bottles that I keep in my dresser as a little souvenir. Has anything bad ever happened on one of these hikes? Let me think. There was that time back in early high school where Reese fell down the cliff. But he was fine. We had some folks from town ring up a pulley to get him out of the ravine, and his leg only took a couple months to heal. All in all, not too bad. Although, I guess there was also that time I was out here alone and kinda got stuck in a cave. I was getting great footage of what I thought was a family of wampus cats, but I wasn't able to wiggle my way back out. It turns out that the wampus cats were actually skunks who very much did not appreciate me blocking the entrance to their hiding hole. And instead of running for help, Gretchen just sat outside, bored to tears. Lassie she is not. As if. I made sure to give those nasty little skunks a piece of my mind, that's what I did. And if I kept Stella company, just as she would for me if I decided to hide in a hole for hours. It took about an hour to get loose, which was pretty intense, but a few tomato juice baths later I was right as rain, so it could have been a lot worse. There was that time I actually stumbled onto old Duke's property and nearly got my head shot off. But that happens to nearly everyone sooner or later, so I'd barely count it. So yeah, these hikes aren't all that dangerous, all things considered. Let's move on. Did you hear that? Oh, calm down, Gretchen, you old mutt. Oh, Duke, you rascal. Same to you, Stella. You're always jumping at nothing, girl. Whew, sorry for getting spooked, Duke. I thought you were some creature of darkness. Nah, girlie. It's just old Duke. Now what the hell are you looking for way out here? A skunk ape. Sorry I asked. Who's this you sucker didn't come with you? Wait a tick, you aren't. Is that? Yep. I see. Welcome to the holler. My condolences. I'll keep you in my prayers. Another stranger, another opportunity for a salty introduction. I don't think like either of them have context for the whole boiled peanuts thing, so that makes this even funnier. You hold out the slippery bag in front of Duke. It's grown quite fragrant since you first put it in your rucksack, like the scent of old beer. But you're pretty sure that's what it's supposed to smell like. Boiled peanuts from your backpack. No, I'm all set, thank you. Now both of y'all head back to town, you hear? It's best you steer clear of this area tonight. I'm not dealing with my own critter, and I won't be too appreciative of a couple fools with a camera to scare away the more sensitive wildlife. What are you hunting tonight? Something tall and hairy? Something musky? You see anything like that recently? Would you like to know? You never could stay in your business, Stella Richmond. Put that damn camera down. Oh, come on, Duke. Maybe I can help out. I'm pretty good at tracking. You know, I learned from the best. That you did, but I've yet to see a shred of proof you listen to any of it. The way you tromp around these woods at night yelling about chunk bungas or what have you. Something's been getting at my chickens. I've lost 3 this week, and we can't afford to lose many more than that. I'm so sorry to hear that. Huh. I wonder if Skunk Ape has a taste for chicken. Now, see, this is why I don't come to you about these things. Ain't no damn Skunk Ape, whatever the hell that is. I know exactly what this is, but I know you won't believe me if I tell you. Ah, Duke, you don't think it's... I do, actually. It's them damn mountain lions. They're out there, Stella. I don't care what your little investigation turned up. You haven't been out in these woods as long as I have. Them sons of bitches are sneaky. Of course you wouldn't find any one night of tracking. And I know for a fact that's what's been getting at my chickens. It couldn't be anything else. I'm telling you, man, mountain lions are extinct in these parts. There hasn't been an actual sighting since the 90s, and even those were iffy. It's true. There are mountain lions out here, sure as sin. They pee on all the best trees. I can't believe you go out here on your YouTube saying some river monsters spotted by a couple school-age Boy Scouts have been 100% confirmed, yet Appalachian cougars are some kind of far-fetched fantasy made up by geezers like me. You made me look like a fool. I read those comments people were posting on your video. They were calling me all kinds of names just for seeing things with my own eyes that I know to be true. I'm sorry, Duke. I didn't mean to sick anybody on you. I just don't think it's plausible. You'll eat those words when I come carrying a mountain lion corpse out of these woods at dawn. And if you two don't want a face full of buckshot, I suggest you run home and stay out of the woods tonight. I feel like there is some like precedent for Scrappy being like kind of sneaky and duplicitous, like considering like the whole live action movie thing. Spoiler, I guess, but it's over 20 years old, so you know, watch or don't. Anyway, yeah, I feel like we could probably give Scrappy like a new sort of trait or pillar or some such where you can like kind of lie in specific situations in order to further the mystery, maybe. What? Good, I'm glad you got some sense. Stella needs someone like that around. But I've got to film tonight. That video needs to be out by tomorrow evening so I can keep on schedule. If I miss an update, I might lose my new sponsor, and who knows what that'll mean for my career. No, Stella, we should leave. We should leave and we shouldn't come back. You turn and wink at Stella as subtly as you can. She immediately picks up what you're putting down. Alright, Duke, maybe you got a point. Come on, Scrappy, let's go back to town. Maybe my viewers won't be too angry with me. Glad to hear you're finally seeing some sense, Stella. You two run along now and stay safe. Well played, Scrappy-Doo. You really threw him off the trail by pretending we were going back to town. Now come on, I know how we can loop around without him noticing. Yeah, we sure fooled him. Sorry if I was a bit much, but I wanted to seem convincing. You did great. He'll never suspect a thing. And you don't have to worry about him finding us out here either. I've gone out tracking with Duke before. The man sounds like a truck crashing through the trees when he walks. Even if we do cross paths, we'll hear him long before he catches wind of us. The trail's just up this way. Let's go. Alright, this looks like a good shot. Mind holding the camera? She hands you the camera and takes position. As night falls, my new assistant, the mysterious Scrappy-Doo, and I find ourselves on a high hill in the Blue Ridge Mountains, where we begin our hunt for the elusive yet pungent skunk ape. Though mostly encountered in Florida, this possible relative of Bigfoot has been spotted all along the southeastern ridge of the United States, including right in this very county. Here's hoping we get a glimpse tonight. We'll check back once we're on the trail. Until then, stay searching, Stellars. And keep digging, Gretches. I can take that camera off your hands for now. We'll be able to start the tracking scenes once the sun sets all the way. In the meantime, we get to take in all this gorgeous scenery. It's been so long since I've had a hiking buddy who can keep pace with me. Oh, is this the start of a friendly rivalry I'm sensing? I'll have you know this is my casual hiking pace. I gotta watch out for Gretchen's poor little bones. The real test will come once it's time to run after Skunk Ape. But in all seriousness, I haven't had this much fun on a hike in a long time. Thanks for coming with me. Your quiet moment with Stella is broken by a loud, percussive snort. Get behind me, quick! You don't have to jump in to protect me. That's just the sound deer make when they want to warn the rest of the herd about big, scary predators like us. Let's check it out. As you and Stella hear the footfalls of animals retreating into the woods, she reaches for her flashlight. A single deer remains behind, staring down the beam of light while Gretchen whines and pulls at her harness. Pain, rot, decay. A deer! Let me at him. How dare you infringe upon my Stella's personal space? Let me at him! And then it's gone. Jeez, Gretchen, calm down. You're gonna hurt yourself. Oh my, it seems I was confused by blinding rage. How very unladylike. What must you think of me? She cannot handle deer. When she gets like this, I usually have to pick her up and hold her. She has a bad habit of slipping her harness when she wants to go after something. You're too much of a potato, and they don't make harnesses to fit potatoes, do they? I think that deer was threatening us, or warning us. I think it was just sick. That thing on its face, I bet it was an abscess, or maybe a tumor. It's not like wild animals can get those taken care of, so they just get bigger and bigger. The poor thing. But there's not much we can do about it. Why do you bring Gretchen out here with you? She doesn't seem like the safest choice for your hiking companion. Excuse you. Although, after that outburst came over me, well, I suppose I can see the merit of your concern. I actually find her to be quite the opposite. Sure, she wants to chase stuff, but I usually let her when I'm not on one of my cryptid hunts, so I can't hold that against her. I'm just happy she's still so feisty even at her age. Pugs aren't exactly known for their good health, but here she is, running around in the woods at 17. And I feel like the fresh mountain air and exercise have helped a lot in that regard. You defy the laws of nature, don't you, Gretch? Though that got my heart rate up, I'm so ready for the hunt. Same for me. How's about we take a quick snack break to fuel up, and then we get right into the night's activities. I got all the best trail snacks. As you settle down to rest, Stella breaks open a pile of assorted snacks. Take one of everything. How boorish. Let's do it. You grab as much as you can. Your body is a temple, and its priest demands offerings. Someone's hungry, huh? I'm glad you're having such a good time with my food. You look at Stella in response, your mouth full of delicious snacks. There will be time for conversation when you're finished, but for now, you eat. You and Stella settle down on an overlook, snacks in hand, as the quiet sounds of evening wildlife wash over you. Gretchen gnaws a stick, distracted for the time being. So, tell me what it's like in Coolsville. Do you have a house, an apartment? Do you live with family, roommates, pets? Tell me what it's like to be Scrappy Doo. Oh, God. I feel like living in a closet in a house with 10 roommates is sort of a mystery machine kind of situation, so let's do that. I live in a closet in a house with 10 roommates. Actually, it's more of an attic crawl space. One of the walls is slanted, so it's like a little uninsulated triangle room. There's not really space for much, so I just have my clothes on a futon, and a little camp light too, since there's not a light in there. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't sound like a space anybody should be living in. It sounds like staying in that old crumbling mansion is actually a pretty big step up for you. How are your roommates? Are they at least nice? I don't know, they're nice, but they're kind of cliquey. I feel like they're all friends already, and they don't really want to get to know me. I was a late addition to the cast, you know. I was put in to save the show's ratings. Like, they have game nights, but they seem to have a lot of 10-person board games, not a whole lot for 11 somehow. Or they'll make a communal dinner and forget to invite me. Maybe I just give out of a weird vibe, I don't know. If you do, I haven't picked up on it. It sounds to me like they aren't really trying to get to know you. And that's too bad, bud. It seems to me like you've got a lot to offer. Have you tried looking for another place? Oh, I hear you. I've been saving up for something better. Yeah? So what do you do for a living? Hmm. I'm still in school. I got a work-study program going on right now that keeps me going, and sometimes I participate in research studies that throw a cool 20 bucks my way. Yeah? I've always wondered what it'd be like to study at a big city school. Living in a dorm with a bunch of people your age, staying out late and eating pizza, meeting people from around the world. Although I guess you're just not doing the dorm part, but I couldn't leave these beautiful woods behind. This is my home, and I love it here, and I think leaving would just make me miss it. What do you study? I feel like psychology was sort of in line with what Scrappy was doing in the movie. We'll do that. Wait a second. Yeah, we'll do that. Psychology. Wow, do you think you're going to be a therapist? I'm not sure. I changed majors pretty recently, so I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. A crisp breeze passes over you. You can't help but shake the feeling that you're being watched. You scan the tree line, but whatever might be out there is nowhere to be seen. I think we're being watched. It might be Skunk Ape. Do your best to pretend it isn't watching it. Us, we don't want to scare it off. What about you? What's your living situation? Gretchen and I live in a little house just outside town. It's actually the house I grew up in, so it has a lot of pleasant memories attached to it, and I'm glad I could keep it in the family. My great-great-grandfather built that house, and he must have done a good job because it's just as sturdy as it's ever been. Do you live alone there? Yeah. The place used to belong to my parents, but they're not around anymore, and the Holler's a small enough place that other folks don't need roommates. Oh, did they move? No, they died. It's okay. I've done my morning, so you don't have to watch your words around me or anything. Life goes on. What were they like? Did you get along? They were amazing. Two of the nicest people you'd ever meet, and interesting too. My dad was a bit of a regional legend amongst hunters and trappers. He was always out in the woods on a trail or something, and he certainly had some interesting dinners because of him. He had to learn how to fend for himself, you see, since his family didn't have much growing up. So we learned how to hunt and trap and got damn good at it. He always made sure I had food and that I'd know how to get it if I ever found myself too far from a grocery store. I could make us a pretty good salad with just what's in this clearing, if I had to, although it wouldn't exactly taste great. As for my mom, she was a saint. She was a local vet. The ladies at all the farms in the county knew to call her if their animals were in need of something. She was smart as a whip and strong to boot. It turns out pulling calves out of 1,600-pound cows all day is a great way to build muscle. But she was gentle too. Even the smallest mouse would get the proper care in her hands. I'm sure she's most of the reason Gretchen here is one of the oldest dogs I've ever met. So yeah, those were my parents. I guess we're both members of the Dead Moms Club now, huh? I guess we are. How are you holding up? I don't feel much about it. It was a long time coming, so I made my peace with it. I get that, but even so, I'm sorry. We're both too young to have to deal with this shit. Whoa. My stars, what was that? Stella immediately packs her bag and slings it over her shoulder. Oh man, it's Skunk Ape. It's gotta be, right? Could be, could be. Whatever made that sound, I've never heard anything like it, and it's close. Here, hold Gretchen's leash for me and let's check this out. You and Stella inch towards the tree line as she shines her flashlight into the woods. Do stay close, Scrappy, do. I wouldn't want any harm to befall you. As you approach, a series of weak clucks calls out from a nearby bush. Pain. It's all pain. Maybe Duke's birds weren't eaten after all. What the hell was that? Hold on, I gotta play that back. Holy shit. I'm guessing it must be maybe 2-3 feet tall. It doesn't look hairy either, so I think we can rule out skunk ape. But whatever it is, it has one of Duke's chickens. It looks like it's heading north. Let's go after it. Right behind you. You follow Stella as she sprints into the unknown, Gretchen excitedly pulling you along by her leash. Stella, my darling companion, are you alright? Oof. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm alright. I just tripped on something weird. Oh no, that poor thing. It must have been one of Duke's. Oh, Jesus, it's still alive. You move towards Stella to get a closer look at the chicken. Don't let Gretchen too close. She'll try to take a bite if you don't stop her. I would never. Something about this bird doesn't smell right. You hold Gretchen's leash close to your chest. She squirms against her harness. Why am I alive? Its poor little chicken eyes look up at you, glazed over but still rolling around in their sockets with unfortunate life. Looks like this is what Stella slipped on. The wing is barely still attached, but that seems to be the least of this chicken's concerns. Good God. At first you thought it might have just been a tumor, but this is something else. The skin is stretched taut, the growth pulsing underneath. Whatever it might be, you know better than to investigate this lump any closer. You've seen horror movies. You back away from the chicken, your curiosity eclipsed by your instinct for self-preservation. Having investigated your heart's content, you turn away to give Stella room to film. It seems we found one of Duke's chickens, folks, and she's not looking good. I'm hesitant to speculate, but she definitely has some sort of growth under her skin. Could be a tumor. Could be something else. Either way, I don't think there's much that can be done for her at this point. Oh, jeez, I'm gonna have to put up some massive content warnings for this video. Hey, do you hear that? There's something out there all around us. I can smell it. There's so many of them. What in Sam hell are you two doing out here? Didn't I tell you to... Birdie? Oh, Birdie, what's wrong, darling? Good God. Did y'all see what did this to her? Duke, we're on the same team here. We both want to know what happened to Birdie as much as you do right now, so we'll get to the bottom of this, I promise. We were on the trail when we found her, like this. Whatever did this to her, I think we can hear them in the trees. Put that camera away, for God's sakes. I don't want to be in another one of your videos. No one needs to see me like this. No one needs to see Birdie like this. You wouldn't put her online, would you? Not when she's like this, all swollen and hurting. Duke, did you hear me? I think they're coming closer. You stay away from my Stella, you mongrels. Come out, you sons of bitches. Duke, don't shoot them. We have no idea what'll happen. You hear that, Stella? They ain't the sound of something peace-like. Whatever these things are, they'll pay for what they did to my girls. Come on, you, whatever your name is, grab that flashlight and help me line up a good shot. I can feel that white-hot rage from earlier start to wash over me. I'm going after him. As the creatures in the tree line grow louder and more numerous, Gretchen violently strains against her harness. Quick, they're closing in on us. Alright. So here's where we separate the wheat from the chaff. I don't think that like Scrappy would prioritize the life of a human over the life of another dog. I think he would die for Gretchen. You dive forward and scoop Gretchen into your arms just before she manages to wriggle out of her harness. Your eyes fixate on the dark tree line over Duke's shoulder. God damn it! You hear a body hit the ground and then quiet as the chaos fades and the sound of nature creep back in. Gretchen? Scrappy Duke, are you alright? Just a little shaken up. Same. What happened? Did I lose myself again? I apologize for being so easily shaken up. I'll do better. Gretchen, here, I'll take her. My poor little pup. Thanks for watching out for her. Duke, are you okay?
Like zoinks, man! This is really spooky!
Oh my god, Duke, holy shit. What do we do now? What the hell are we supposed to do? What do you mean, what do we do now? Duke had a hunting accident by himself in the woods. That's it. What happened to Duke? Is something wrong with him? Why won't he get up? Are you serious? We have footage of exactly what happened here. Sure, it's a little dark and shaky, but you can kind of make out that thing coming out of the woods. We can take it to the police. Duke's family deserves closure. Other people deserve to know what's out here. I don't trust cops. They always go for the easiest explanations, and in this case, that's me. They aren't going to entertain our little story about cryptids and tumorous growths, and there's a stranger from the big city visiting town who was there to see the murder but was suspiciously out of frame when this supposed creature attacks. Oh, you're right. This whole thing is hard to believe. We need more footage. Come on, let's go after them before we lose our chance. Lead the way. It looks like Duke managed to tag one of them before he, you know. We should be able to follow that blood trail. Let's go while it's still fresh. As you and Stella push through the woods, the unearthly sounds once again surround you. God, they're everywhere. I smell something terribly foul, like a pile of rancid meat. I think we're almost there. The trees are starting to thin out. The shrieks pull back into steady whispers as you and Stella stumbled upon the putrid bodies of dozens of dead and dying animals. A sinking realization pulls at your gut. This is their nest, and you are surrounded. There's also a mountain lion up there. What is this horrible place? We need to get out of here. More of these swellings. All the animals here have them. Or had them. Get all the footage you need, Stella. If these things jump us, I'm pretty sure I can take them. I think we have enough footage. Let's get the hell away from this nest before things get ugly. Just as you follow Stella in a mad dash through the woods, so too do the unearthly hollers and whispers of the nest. In the highest branches of trees and down on the forest floor, they're all around you, casually keeping pace with your all-out sprint. We're almost there. As you and Stella reach the main road, the cries of the creatures fade back into the sounds of nature. It sounds like they've stopped following us. That horrid stench is certainly gone. Are you sure we shouldn't call the cops? After seeing that nest, call away. Be my guest. I should get reception now that we're back on the main road. Let me find my phone so I can call the sheriff. You feel a buzz in your pocket. 6 missed calls from Tabitha, and 13 text messages. You try and call Tabitha back, but it goes straight to voicemail. You text Tabitha back and let her know you're okay. Your message sits unread. Tabitha seems worried. It's pretty late, isn't it? Stella pulls out her phone and dials. Hello, Earl. It's Stella Richmond. I'm up the mountain on the Asgina Trail. Duke is dead, Earl. Shotgun. It happened right in front of us. There's something in the woods. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think we're okay, but hurry. Jesus, Earl, who's gonna tell Bo? I guess now we'll wait. It takes a little while, but eventually a patrol car arrives on the scene. Out of it walk 2 officers, Sheriff Hugby, a friendly older man, and Deputy Franklin, a serious man wearing sunglasses despite it being the middle of the night. See, right there, a thing jumps out of the woods and then a shotgun goes off. What in Sam Hill? What is that, some kind of Pillsbury Doughboy? Could have been a naked maniac. As the video reveals the creature's nest, Franklin ever so slightly lowers his sunglasses. Or a whole bunch of naked maniacs. What the heck is that? Some sort of crop circle? They killed Duke. Now we're gonna have to confiscate this camera, Miss Richmond, if you don't mind. This is evidence. Okay. Let me just turn it off to save the battery. Stella gave in to their request suspiciously easily. Here you go, Deputy Franklin. We appreciate your compliance with the law. We'll get a team out in the morning to retrieve the body, but for now, Sheriff Hugby and I, please call me Earl. Earl and I will escort you and... Who are you exactly? Oh, that's Scrappy Doo. He came into town today for the funeral. Scrappy Doo, as in... You say nothing. You'll have to pardon my surprise. We just didn't think you'd show. We'll escort you back to town. If there's a naked maniac on the loose, it's best you don't walk back on your own. I love how obsessed he is with the idea of there being a naked maniac. What does he know? It wasn't a... Never mind. Why aren't you going out there tonight? There's a dead body in the woods. Those things out there could attack someone else. Well, it ain't exactly like old Duke is going anywhere at this point. He'll still be out there in the morning. We'll only have a skeleton crew at the moment. Monday nights are Deputy Derrickson's bowling nights. We'll be on alert for any more reports of naked maniacs, but retrieving Duke will just have to wait. It kind of reminds me of that guy from Beavis and Butthead Do America who was obsessed with cavity searches. That was a good movie. Now, if you'll kindly step into the vehicle, we can return you safely to your home. Do we have to ride back with you? We can just walk. Those creatures left. We'll be fine. I'm afraid I'm going to have to insist. For your own safety. Stella sighs. Okay, thank you. You can ride up front with me, little lady. That is, if your mama permits. But what about Stella? She hates being in those wheeled contraptions. Sure, Earl. You can hold Gretchen on the way back to town. The cops usher you and Stella up into the back of their squad car. You are just the cutest little thing, Miss Gretchen. Yes, you are. Sheriff Hugby pats Gretchen on the head affectionately, but she remains wholly focused on Stella, a worried look stretched over her little pug face as Hugby scratches behind her ears. For such a gregarious person, Stella is unusually quiet as the car makes its way down the pitch-black mountain road. Oh, my poor Stella. Neither one of us much likes these awful metal beasts. If only I was able to comfort her. Confound this old man who reeks of coffee for keeping us apart. Hey Stella, you good? She doesn't respond. You reach out and rest your palm gently on her shoulder. She jumps slightly at your touch, but you can hear some of her tension ease and hear her let out a self-soothing sigh. You sit quietly, watching the trees pass by in the light of the headlights. Every now and then you think you see a pale, anguished face staring back out at you before it slips back into the darkness. Soon the rumble of gravel beneath the tires gives way to uneven pavement, and the car comes to a stop in front of a small cottage. You two stay out of trouble. We'll have this all sorted out in the morning. Just get a good night's sleep. And you, whatever your name was. I pee freely. Sure, you in town for the funeral? Good. Don't you go leaving before then. I imagine we'll need to ask you a few questions about everything you've seen tonight. Stella, keep an eye on him for us. Make sure he doesn't get in any more trouble. Y'all have a good night now. Bye-bye, Gretchen. And y'all have a lovely evening. If any bugaboos give you trouble, you know how to get in touch. And here you are, back in town, away from the woods, with no one but Stella in sight. Holy shit. I hope you don't mind me asking, but why on earth did you want to walk home? That's a fair question. I've just had some bad experience with cars. I don't know how to drive them, and I don't like getting into them unless it's literally a question of life or death. Which I guess tonight was. I'm sorry if I weirded you out. God, what a night. Keep an eye on me. Are they for real? I can't believe I'm a suspect after we showed them that footage. Especially after we risked our hides to find that nest. I told you we shouldn't trust the cops. I can't believe it either. But it's okay. I'm not going to let anything bad happen to you. Nor will I, although I have little understanding of police work. I was there. I filmed the whole thing. At the very least, it'll never hold up in court. And it won't get to that point either, because we're going to do a little investigating of our own. We've got to find out more about those things. If we can get clear footage, or better yet, trap one of them, there's no way they can blame you for what happened. The library doesn't open for a while, but I've read every book on cryptids they have, and I never came across anything like this. There is someone in town who might have some useful information. My friend's mom. Her place isn't far. We should head over now before it gets any later. I should probably check in on Tabitha. My friend's place is on the way back, and stopping by shouldn't take long. Are you sure you don't want to stop in first? I know I wouldn't want to head up that mountain road by myself after everything that's happened tonight. Twist my arm, why don't you? When you put it like that, sure, let's do it. Awesome, let's go. I'm glad you're sticking it out with us. It's always so nice to have an extra companion. I hope she's still awake. There's something foul creeping up behind us. Scrappy Doo. Jesus. You and Stella turned to see a shadowy figure staring out at you from across the road. You didn't hear it approach. Welcome home. Before you can respond, the door behind you swings open. An older woman stands in the entryway. Go home, Wayne. I can't help you tonight. You look back and the figure is already gone, disappeared into the shadows of the night. I'm sorry about that, Stella. Some people just can't be helped. What brings you out here so late? And who is this? Hi, Miss Forsyth. This is Scrappy Doo. Is it okay if we come in? Of course, of course. You're in luck. I just put on water for hibiscus tea. And for goodness sakes, you can call me Sybil. You're an adult now, after all. Welcome to my little nook. This place always has the loveliest aromas. It's nice to finally meet you, Scrappy Doo. I was so sorry to hear about your mother. Vivian was such a lovely soul, and she's been sorely missed in the holler. And now poor Lan is gone as well. Do let me know if there's anything you need while you're in town. Who was that outside? Just a very sick man. You don't need to be worried about him. You knew my mom? Of course, dear. She was a good friend of mine for many years. She was such a lovely woman. You should come by sometime. I can delight you with unsavory tales of her youth. How did you know that she died? Oh, Perlan was a chatty woman. Not much went on that I wouldn't get nearful of, bless her heart. I never met Perlan. You don't have to pass on your condolences to me. I have no feelings about the woman. That's fair, child. It just seemed like the right thing to do. You hold out your bag of peanuts as a gift to Sybil. She offered you and Stella tea, after all. It's only polite to offer something in return. Oh my, thank you for the kind offer, dear, but I'm afraid it's far too late for me to have something so salty. We need your help. Ah, yes, I suppose pleasantries can wait for another time. What's got you here so late? You seem troubled. You know about weird stuff, right? Unexplainable stuff? I'm not so sure I follow, dear. I know which oils to use for which aches. I know a bit about classical spiritualism. Just what sort of unexplainable things were you talking about? Duke was killed tonight by something in the woods. Oh my lord, have you contacted the police? Yes, and they didn't take it very seriously. They're not even looking for the body until tomorrow. Those things out there, I don't even know how to describe them. I can't say I know much about local wildlife. My daughter has always had a brighter gift for nature than I. This wasn't the local wildlife, Mrs. Forsyth. Here, I can show you. Stella pulls out her memory card from her sleeve and pops it into her phone. This must have been why she was so quick to hand over her camera. I wasn't about to just let the police hold on to this, at least not before we had a chance to make a copy. Smooth. The cops wouldn't know what to do with that footage anyway. Imagine if they accidentally erased it. Exactly. I'll give it to them if they ask again, but for now we can examine the footage for ourselves. Where was this? Up the mountain to the northwest. Within the town limits? Yes. I see. Is there a way to make the video bigger and louder if you can? I need to plug the memory card into a computer. I could go back and get mine. No need. Kanika should still be awake. She can lend us hers. Kanika? Are we seeing Kanika? You better come with, Stella. I'm sure she'll be more willing to help a friend than her nosy mother. Kanika, come on out. We could use a little help. What, Mom? Oh, hey, Stella. And Gretchen. Who's a good potato? Kanika, is it me? Am I the good potato? I most certainly hope I am. And a stranger. What are you doing in my house? Hi, I'm Scrappy Doo. Tabitha's cousin? Yep. Sweetie, we were wondering if we could borrow your laptop. Stella and her friend have a video to show us. It's really important, Kanika. Okay, my room's a mess. I'll just bring it out there. Heads up, Kanika. This is graphic. Duke got killed out in the woods tonight. It's on the recording. Wait, are you serious? Duke's dead? We can watch this without you. You know I have a harder stomach than any of our friends. I'm pressing play. Silence washes over the room as the video plays. Stella, what the hell is this? This is far beyond my ability to contribute. I'll leave the thinking to you humans. I'm sorry either of you had to see this, but Scrappy Doo and I have no idea how to make heads and tails of it. Stella, are you okay? Did you get hurt? I'm fine, really. I'm okay. You remain silent. Poor Duke. Poor Bo. Has anyone told him yet? We talked to the police. I hope they told Bo, but Deputy Franklin didn't seem to be in much of a hurry to do anything. I'll call him later tonight. But for now, we have something far more serious to discuss. More serious than a man's death? Those creatures are terrifying, but give Duke some respect. Tremendously more serious than a man's death. These things, my grandmother called them ditchlings. They are a terrible omen, a sign of great suffering and destruction to come. Mom, come on, whatever's doing this is serious. Stop scaring Stella and Scrappy with this Tailipo crap. A man just died. Have some respect. Kanika, sweetie, let your mother talk. The creatures themselves are harmless to people, despite that grisly scene in the woods. How can you say that? Duke is dead. An unfortunate accident, and nothing more. Just as birds flock before a storm, the ditchlings congregate where tragedy is soon to befall. To see one is to be cursed by fate. To see so many in one place is... Sybil holds her silence. Jesus, Mom, they've clearly had a rough night. They don't need this. It's okay, Kanika. This is helpful. Stella, whatever these things are, they aren't magic. We can't rule that out. Not after what we saw. But fine, let's focus on what we know. Whatever they are, they're doing something to these animals. You saw that nest. What were those growths? Maybe the ditchlings were here for Duke, like some sort of self-fulfilling prophecy. Unfortunately, no. Their presence forewarns something far more sinister than one man's death. Stop speculating about this occult nonsense. Let's focus on what we know. Right, what are those growths? Maybe they're making more of themselves. Yeah, maybe what we're seeing here is some sort of parasitic larval phase, part of their life cycle. But I don't want to jump to any conclusions about something that's out there, not without doing some research or talking to a biologist. I'm sure there's a rational explanation that'll clear all of this up. Oh dear, I forgot entirely about the tea I put on. Let me fix you up a couple coughs. It'll help soothe your nerves. I don't know, it's getting late and I should let Scrappy get some rest. I ran him ragged today with all the hiking and running through the woods in terror. I can keep going, I'm still wired from everything that happened. Okay, maybe it's just that I'm eager to get home and start doing some research. I'll ask around in my usual forums to see if anyone has any information on ditchlings. Is that what you called them? That's right. You go on home now and do try to get some rest. Don't stay up all night on the online. Let me get you some of my house-made peppermint tea to go. It really does wonders to soothe the soul. Bye, Stella. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? And call me if you need to talk. Thanks, Kanika. I'll see ya. Bye, Scrappy Doo. It's excellent iced or warmed. Though with the nights getting chillier, warm will probably be best. Helps wake up the bones. Be careful out there. Both of you. Sybil turns and closes the door behind her. What an unfortunately short visit. Alrighty, let's head back home. My home, I mean. And here we are. You're welcome to stay the night if you want. As much as I loathe saying, like, no to Stella, I think that Scrappy would probably want to head back and check on Tabitha. I should probably head back and check on Tabitha. That's sweet of you. Are you sure you're okay heading back up that mountain alone? Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I won't stop you if you really want to go back. Here's my number. Call me when you get there, okay? And good luck. You and Stella exchange numbers. I'll see you tomorrow? Yeah, we're in this together. Yeah, we are. Stay safe, buddy. Good luck, Scrappy-Doo. You begin the long hike back up the Scarlet Estate alone. Almost home. You've made it. Your salvation in sight, you make a mad dash to the door. As you reach for the knob, the door swings open. Where the hell have you been? I called you back as soon as I had reception. Did you? I didn't notice. Do you know anyone named Wayne? You feel a slight but palpable hesitation before Tabitha answers. I employ over 100 people. I'm sure I know a Wayne. There was someone playing the piano in the sealed-off wing of the estate. Are you serious? I specifically told you not to go in there. It's dangerous. I'm sure there wasn't actually anyone playing a piano. You probably just heard a possum or something. The estate's infested with the damn things. Oh, there's actually a possum living in my drawers. His name is Dustin. And? What do you want me to do about it? That's a rhetorical question. Don't bother answering. I went into the woods with this girl I met to find some cryptids, and it ended up with us watching a man die. Ah, so you met Stella then? Ugh, that explains everything, and she's gotten you all worked up. I'm going to bed. I'll see you tomorrow. Can you tuck me in? Are you serious? Tuck you in? No, go to sleep. You're alone in the estate. The sound of the wind whistling through the house gives you an uneasy feeling in your gut. It's probably best to turn in and try to leave the night behind you. As you settle into your room, you remember that Stella asked you to call her once you got back. You pull out your phone and call. Hey, how are you? She sounds a little different, like she's been crying. Did you make it back alright? Yeah, I'm alright. How are you? Totally fine. I mean, as fine as I could be, I guess. You don't have to worry about me. Go get some Z's, okay? I'll see you tomorrow. From the relative safety of this uncomfortable bed, the events of the past evening seem like something that happened to someone else, though you can still clearly picture the terror you felt in those moments. For now, you're safe and warm. Eventually, the sun will rise and chase away the monsters and make them seem like nothing but bad dreams. Maybe tomorrow, if you're lucky, you'll wake up in the normal world and have a boring week in the mountains with your sour-faced cousin. It's a nice thought, but deep down, you can't help but worry that things will only get worse. And that's it, episode 1. One and done. Bagged and tagged. I feel like that went pretty well. I'm looking forward to seeing other opportunities we're going to get to sort of expand what knowledge we have with the 3 traits, and also just to really scrap things up, you know? I had a lot of fun with this. I don't really know if I'm going to do that Scrappy voice throughout, but I guess I managed to do it for an entire chapter today, so maybe I'm a little bit better at this whole thing than I thought. God. It was at least funny for me. Anyway, sorry, I better let this play out. finish episode 1 in hardcore mode. Well, I think that was really fun. Well, I guess that's it for this particular episode of this series. If you had some fun along with me, you can feel free to subscribe to this channel or to my main one at Six Eye Sun. I'm also at Six Eye Sun on Twitter and Blue Sky. If you really enjoyed the show or want to support the channel, feel free to subscribe to my Patreon as well. But otherwise, I'm really looking forward to continuing on with this series. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and it's nice to be able to like play Scarlet Hollow on a platform that I really like care for, because I care for this game very much as well. So yeah. Anyway, I'm looking forward to doing more of it for now. But until then, I guess I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.